everyone. Good morning and welcome to the Disney Morning Show. I am Kyle, and joining me this morning is Luke.
Hello, good morning. Howdy. Happy April Fool's Day. We love this day at
And as we say some hellos, I have a feeling that Fred was trying to April Fools us.
Yes, his last time tuning in. I don't believe that.
I mean, it could happen, like if he had like a change in his work schedule or something. But no, I believed it for half. I'll give you this, Fred. I believed it for half a second. I was like, oh, but why? And then I was like, oh, I got it. So congratulations, you got me ever so slightly.
And today, Nikki B learned that there is going to be a Spider-Man roller coaster, and that is true. We have some more to talk about that very shortly.
Very, very shortly. In fact, well, one more thing to do before we get there. That's how we start every show. Yesterday at Showtime, the Disney stock was at 94.86. Let's see where it's at now. 97. Wow. It's only up not too much today, but it must have pumped up yesterday. We'll see.
Up the stock, pump it up, get that stock pumping.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so maybe we'll know more. Maybe it'll continue to go up later. Oh, Luke added a couple of pocket picks so we can look forward.
I did. April Fool's related, but I thought they were fun. Well, one's April Fool's related.
All right. Well, we'll get there eventually, but first we have to know what's happening.
As we were talking about, there is a brand new Spider-Man themed coaster coming to Shanghai Disneyland. And we've known about this since 2024 at the last D23 fan event.
Ultimate Disney fan event.
Ultimate. That takes too much effort. So we are, today they shared a photo of the track on site. A nice bright red track for the Spider-Man coaster, which makes complete sense. And we don't know too much about it. The concept art that we've seen so far kind of shows that this might be, which I neglected to put in the article, but we'll probably put in later. The concept art that we've seen for a couple of years kind of showcases that it could be a similar type coaster to Guardians, based off of how the vehicles look. I think it might be in that one, maybe. Nope, I'm just really bad.
Well, here's what I should be able to do. Let's see if I go here. There we go.
There we go. And that definitely looks very Guardians-esque to me.
Except for outside.
Yes, outside. But the coaster, the train itself looks very similar. So I'm interested to see that. And Shanghai is the one Disney park I have yet to cross off my bucket list, but I'm
sure you'll go in like June.
yeah. Who knows? Yeah,
and then you'll probably throw in a trip to either Japan or Hong Kong too, because then you don't have to worry about the visa.
I mean, why not?
One system.
And then before we move on, I'm just saying hello to, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get this username right, but SRQ Sweet Cravings.
Yeah, Candy Tornado High. Candy Tornado Wave.
Tornado High.
Lollipop Wave. I mean, I guess is that like Lollipop Guild and the Tornado? Is it like
a Wizard of Oz reference? Possibly.
Yeah. Anyway, Disney is launching a new ticket offer. This is kind of interesting. They have both 2-day and 3-day tickets that are good for after 2 p.m. entry. Still one park per day. And these are date-based tickets that'll be valid from, you'll choose the start date, but they're from May 26th to July 29th is when this offer is. And you're like, okay, cool. After 2 p.m., one park per ticket, or one park per day.
Yes.
This has got to be pretty cheap. Well, 2 days starts at $235 plus tax, which to me doesn't sound that cheap.
No.
An after 2 ticket. Granted, during the summer, they are open till midnight. So you're still getting Magic Kingdom is open till midnight. So you're probably getting 9 to 10 hours.
Honestly, Magic Kingdom out here, the latest parks tend to close. Magic Kingdom is 11. midnights are rare out here.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so then maybe probably what, 10 o'clock for the other park, 9 or 10? Well, Animal Kingdom earlier.
9 really, yeah.
All right, never mind. This is a terrible deal.
Yeah.
2 day tickets start at
I mean,
235. 3 day tickets are 329.
that's how it has been in years past, at least. But yeah, I feel like this is the sort of thing that would be very helpful if they had it for a 1 day thing. I mean, back in the day, I know they used to do the Epcot After 4 ticket, which I could not tell you the price, but I'm sure it was something like
Oh,
50,
I mean, this was when
75 bucks.
everything was a lot cheaper. Like
But
you could get an annual pass for Walt Disney World was $600.
yeah, but decent idea, but yeah,
Yeah,
do
the
some
price to
tweaking
me
to actually make it worth it.
isn't screaming deal, but you get to sleep in. So I guess that's nice. Maybe if you combine it with the next story we'll talk about, maybe you can find some good deals there. But so it's a 2 day ticket, because when you're using the 2 day ticket, you have to use all both days within 4 days of the date you start on, and 5 days for the 3 day. So keep that in mind if you're planning a trip. You don't have to use them back to back, but you have to use them within a short time span. And then we have another offer, as I just alluded to, and this one is also pretty interesting. Disney Plus Perks is offering a special. This will be for bookings between June 21st and August 15th. And there's a few specific hotels that you'll be able to get special rates at. So first is All Star Sports in a standard room, $99 per night plus tax.
Not bad.
Yeah. Disney's Port Orleans Riverside standard location, fifth sleeper, $169 per night. Art of Animation Cars Family Suite, so the actual like indoor one, not the Little Mermaid section, $249. Saratoga Springs Deluxe Studio, $279. And perhaps the most interesting one to me, Animal Kingdom Lodge Savannah View, $369 per night. I have no frame of reference to know if these are good prices, but to me, they do sound better than I would have thought. What about you?
For some reason, Animal Kingdom Lodge does tend to be, I put this loosely, relatively cheap. But that is a pretty good deal for Animal Kingdom Lodge. That's a great deal. Art of Animation, I think I've seen cheaper. And for All Star Sports, that's a good deal. But the rest,
Saratoga probably depend. I don't know where the deluxe studio rooms, if they're in a certain section, but that would also, if you're getting like Congress Park, then I think that'd be pretty cool. But
yeah, that was where you stayed, right?
yeah, that one's my favorite section because it's the closest for the way I like to walk to Disney Springs, and so makes it easy, especially when I'm doing like a hybrid work thing where I want to go get food real fast. I can.
Well, yeah, closest to walk to Disney Springs and closest to the main lobby, food court, pool area too. So
yeah. But if you want to book either one of those offers, oh, by the way, that latter one doesn't go on sale until tomorrow, so keep that in mind. But contact our friends at Mouse Fan Travel, and they can help figure out whether this is the best deal for you, or help you discover all your other options. Or if they release another offer later down that applies to you, they'll just save you money for no reason.
Exactly.
But we're going to stick at Walt Disney World and talk about some food.
Yeah. So over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, more specifically at the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater restaurant, they have some new menu items that have debuted today. And we're not fooling. These are real. And among the new menu offerings are cheese ravioli, silver screen wings, which are wings tossed in hot honey, buffalo, or Parmesan garlic sauce, a fried chicken sandwich, grilled pork chop, and then for dessert, you can enjoy a feature finale, which is a vanilla sponge roulade with raspberry and vanilla custard, cassie panna cotta, strawberry sauce, fresh fruit, and whipped cream.
Sounds pretty good. That chicken sandwich looks tasty.
Yeah, that doesn't look bad.
And then there's these raviolis, but I see mushrooms in there. So you had me and you lost me.
I'm sure you can easily say, please no mushrooms.
I know. I could also make ravioli from a bag I have downstairs, and it'd probably be about 70% as good. Anyway.
That is also true.
but now we get to go overseas.
Yeah, we're jumping, or as I cleverly wrote, grooving into the future, because the Club Mouse Beat show at Tokyo Disneyland, which takes place, or rather took place, at the show-based stage in Tomorrowland, had its final show yesterday, March 31st, and it has closed to make room for the brand new show that we talked about previously.
No, say the name.
I was about to say the name. The brand new show, which is wonderfully called the D-Groove Nation Z4 Live, happy exclamation mark, funky exclamation mark, groovy exclamation mark tour.
Yes.
And that brand new show will be debuting on September 30th, 2026. So it will be a little dark in that corner of Tomorrowland until then. I know in doing research and planning for my trip, which is coming up in a week.
Wow. Yeah.
The pathway between through Tomorrowland, as you're going past the show base and past Star Tours, is blocked off there because of construction on Wreck-It Ralph and Space Mountain. So I'm wondering if they're just going to move those construction walls even further back, and it's just going to block off. Basically, you could go to Star Tours and you can go to Monsters Inc., but for everything else in Tomorrowland, you're going to have to go around.
Well, I'm sad that you're not going to get to see the show, nor will you be there to see the Degroovinators 4 live Happy Funky Groovy Tour.
You know, I didn't see many shows last time that I was there, so I'm going to attempt to make a point. I saw the modified big band beat.
Do a lot of them still have the lottery system for the shows?
Yeah, they do.
See, that's the trouble.
Or you can, if you really want to see the show, you can pay the Disney Premier Access.
They didn't have that when I was there the first time, but they did when I wanted to see One Man's Dream 2. At that time, the first show was not lottery, so I could just get there really early
and get in. It's still that way.
Okay.
But
I didn't understand the lottery thing. I thought it was going to be like a fast pass. So when I went to do it and then it didn't work and I tried again, the guy's like, "No, that's not."
And it's on your app now too, which
it
explains it a little bit easier than having.
I should say I went 16 years ago was the first time that I went. So yes, things have changed, but I know that.
They do have the Fantasyland Theater nearby too, so there's a show there. So I might try and see that one. And of course, there's a couple new shows for the 25th anniversary of Tokyo Disney Sea, which I assume I will be checking out for business purposes.
Well, look, I don't know if you've noticed, but everyone's kind of had MLB fever lately with, first of all, it was opening day, and then also all sorts of crazy food items. These ballparks have been trying to one-up each other in terms of the food, but let's talk about some merchandise that you can get, because MLB is teaming up with The Simpsons for a new collection of clothes and hats, shirts, and other apparel. We're not going to go through all of them, obviously, but here's a few that we noticed. I think this is perfect for the A's, this Bart looking angry and wanting to lash out because his team doesn't have a proper home. Houston Astros, you got Texas looking Homer, but easily the best is right here at the top where we have the Cubs and you have the meme of Homer descending into the
I mean they had to use that in some manner, otherwise what's the point?
It works for Wrigley. It would also work for the Red Sox at Fenway, but yeah, I think I like that a lot. So you can find out much more about the MLB New Era collection over on Laughing Place. And then if you've ever wanted to be a voice actor, well, Disney is launching a new program to discover you and help you develop your talents there. This is Disney branded television discovers voice talent search is what this is officially called. And they'll be selecting 10 participants. It'll come up eventually. 10 participants will attend a free weekend-long workshop at Disney Television Animation in Glendale. And that'll culminate in the creation of an original 11-minute animated short that will then go on to Disney platforms. Submissions are now open and will go through April 14th. You need to be a U.S. resident 18 years or older who are eligible to work. So you can find more information on Laughing Place and submit your application if you are interested. I know several people who are or want to be voice actors, so hopefully that's on their radar.
Yeah, that's a really interesting, fun kind of opportunity.
Yeah, it's kind of a miniature version. Disney's long done these like writers programs and stuff. They'll have like a new class of kind of like the equivalent of an incubator for tech companies where, people apply, you bring them together, they get to do some networking, they get to work on like a project together, and then they get farmed out. I actually have a friend who got staffed on a Disney show because he was part of the writers program and now writes for Apple TV's Silo.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Disney, runDisney virtual series is coming back, and they've officially announced the different themes. They got this little tease previously, and then they released a new thing. I don't remember if this has sound or if I can mute it. I can't. I'll just tell you what they are. Hercules 5K, Emperor's New Groove. They're all 5Ks. Emperor's New Groove, Pocahontas, and then a Goofy movie. And that Goofy movie one is the challenge. So if you do all three of them, registration will open soon, so head over to runDisney.com for more information on those. But yeah, they're virtual races. You do them from home. You just are basically paying for a medal and some fun, but it's a good motivator if you're looking for an excuse to run or if you want a cool medal from one of these retro properties. And with that, even though it's Wednesday and not Friday, it's our Friday or my Friday. We'll get more on that in a minute. So we're going to check the Disney Plus Top 10 for fun. All right, leading the way is Daredevil Born Again with, that's not Bob Chapek, that is Kingpin, in case you're wondering.
As it should be. I've watched those first 3 episodes, and they're pretty great.
Nice. Garfield movie, randomly in second. Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special in third. Mike and Nick and Alice in fourth. Zootopia 2 in fifth. Paradise sixth. The Testament of Anne Lee in seventh. Spider-Man Homecoming 8th, Hannah Montana the movie 9th, and Spider-Man Far From Home in 10th. So a few Sony movies made their way onto the list this time.
Hannah Montana getting her moment.
She certainly is.
She is the moment.
And I've had my share of bad reviews. I still remember my first good one, though. Everything else in this production of Our Town was simply terrible. Joey Tribbiani was abysmal.
And speaking of abysmal, I need to figure out what is wrong. Just 1 second, please.
Speaking,
that didn't work. All right.
The buzz around this is a little odd.
Yeah, the buzz around it is odd. Luke, vamp for a second.
Oh, there's a weird link at the end. Maybe.
No, the link at the end is fine. We have.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I'm going to Tokyo in a week. That's the thing that's like on the top of my mind at the moment. We'll be covering some fun stuff from the 25th anniversary launch of Tokyo Disney Sea, so I will be there to check some of that out, and I think we might even have someone there a little bit ahead of time of me being there to check some stuff out too. But yeah, so if anyone wants to see anything specific from Tokyo, let us know on our morning shows or on our Twitter, anything like that, and I can do my best to take a look.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and read. Alex reviewed Secret of the Bees for us, and his headline is Secret of the Bees will make you see the world's most important insect completely differently. And his final paragraph is, fans of A Real Bug's Life will find much to love here, though Secret of the Bees carries the additional weight and polish of broader secrets of franchise behind it. This is a nature documentary. This is nature documentary filmmaking operating at the highest level, the kind of series that makes you feel, by the end, that you've been granted access to the world that was always there and somehow always hidden. And I give Secret of the Bees 5 out of 5 stars. So you can check that out. It's now available on, I assume, Disney Plus, but also Hulu and all the things. Had it and I lost it. Okay. Well, let's keep going anyway. And the rest. Sorry, we're having issues on the site.
It's loading now, so give it a refresh. It should work.
I had it pop back for a second, and then maybe my resetting actually delayed the the issue.
Unfortunately, folks, sometimes technology just doesn't want to cooperate.
Yeah. But I'll just tell you what this story was about. There was something on Facebook Marketplace where Disney was putting funny little things. There was something about Wonder Man, references to Paradise, and some other things. But you could find that story on Laughing Place. And then Disneyland yesterday had a special flag retreat ceremony with a 100-year-old World War II veteran who was actually there at Iwo Jima and saw the iconic flag raising that was captured and made statues of and everything. He got to be there with his family. They presented him the flag that they retired for that day. And you can see a short little video, 100 years old, dude. Can you imagine being 100 years old? I'm 40 and I feel super
and I mean, standing up next to Donald, still being able to
watching the parade. There was B-roll of him watching the parade yesterday. Yeah.
Speaking of someone that is much younger, someone appears to be a big fan of Freya Sky in our comments. At least that's what I'm assuming that is. Just saying Freya. So woohoo, we here at Laughing Place, #1 fans of Freya Sky.
Indeed. Is it working for you, Luke?
Nope. It was,
okay.
But now it's not.
Okay. Let me one more little thing and then we'll move.
Apologies, folks. We are having some technical difficulties with Laughing Place at the moment. But we want to get everything up and running so we can show you everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, that's more fun, isn't it? But in the meantime, we'll go around LP without being able to show you. Or pocket picks. Yeah, good call.
Ahead of those pocket picks.
Yes, let's do that. All right. So Universal Studios is up first with
I just thought this was fun. They are getting in on the April Fool's Day thing with a fun little probably AI doctored image showing a slide on the iconic stairway down from the upper lot to the lower lot. And honestly, I would do that. I think that
there was a restaurant I used to go to in Phoenix called Rustler's Roost, and I wanted to go there for like my birthday because the entrance to there were stairs that you could take, but they did have a slide to go from the entrance of the restaurant down to the dining room. And I thought it was just the coolest thing. It was an open slide. It wasn't a covered one like this fake proposal is. But yeah, I mean, the only downside there is that it looks like it's covering the stairs. So if you want to get your workout like my friends do, you wouldn't have
that. Yeah, I think they probably have to have the stairs, but you know, this seems more fun. And also, before we move on to our next one, saying hello to Sonia. Hi, Sonia. Thank you for watching.
Very much. And then this it's always good when Disney stuff gets to the mainstream accounts like Pop Base.
Yeah, this was the first place I saw this, and it does not seem to be a good week for animatronics in foreign Disney parks, because first, I think you might have shared the Olaf thing in this show earlier.
I don't think we showed it on the show. But.
Okay. Well, in any case, there was an issue with an Olaf animatronic, the new one at Disney Adventure World. And then now we're seeing crows eating at Rapunzel's hair on the outdoor animatronic for the boat ride at Tokyo Disney Sea. So lots of issues going on recently, but fun to see. And
now that it's a thing, we'll get a bunch of other like less significant ones, and we'll act like everything's breaking down because that's what we do.
Exactly. I guess we could do this day in Disney history and then work our way back.
Sure, we could do that.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Let me pull up my document real fast. On this day in 1932, an actress was born. One of her most notable Disney credits is Halloween Town.
Debbie Reynolds?
Debbie Reynolds, yes.
Yeah.
Didn't even need to give you the hint of whose mother she is.
It just made sense.
On this day, 1963, an ABC daytime show debuted that is still going.
General Hospital.
Yes, correct.
Also made sense.
This day, 1974, something opened at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground.
Is it the train?
No. Good
No,
guess.
I wish that train was still around. That'd be so fun. Hoop-de-doo?
Close. That would open in June.
So the whole complex, Pioneer Hall?
Pioneer Hall, yeah.
Okay, interesting. I didn't realize that wasn't there from the get-go.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah.
On this date,
they would really need to have.
I'm not going to make you guess this one because it's very pedantic. On this day in 2015, Disney's Polynesian Villas and Bungalows opened.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I don't know how I would convey that hint to you. On this day in 2019, an attraction at what was Walt Disney Studios Park closed.
Armageddon
Les Effects Spectaculaires.
That was such an interesting thing. I mean, it kind of went with the same mold as some of the Universal Studios things, you know, like Twister and Backdraft and that sort of thing. But this one was just very weird, and I think maybe not being able to understand it didn't help, but
yeah. And then on this day in 2022, a Disney Plus movie debuted. 13-year-old Blank fantasizes about becoming a big Broadway star. He and his best friend Libby mastermind a daring trip to New York City to audition for Lilo and Stitch the musical.
Is it Better Nate Than Never?
Yeah, basically. It's Better Nate Than Ever. I don't believe it's on Disney Plus anymore, but I think you can rent it from Amazon still.
Okay.
Starred Ruby Wood, Joshua Bassett, Aria Brooks, and Lisa Kudrow, who you can
watch
see in the third series of The Comeback.
Never watched it, but I remember writing a lot about it.
Yeah, that's usually how these things go.
Yeah.
Well, we could check out Mass Madness on the Twitter. Well, Luke, there was quite an upset yesterday as I had assumed that Heimlich was destined for the finals. But instead, California Screamin' eked out a win. This was the closest vote by far that we've had so far. At one point, Heimlich pulled ahead. It was tied for a bit, and I was worried about what we do if there's a tie. But California Screamin' pulled out the win, so it is headed to the finals. And then today, you know, when I design these Mouse Madness brackets, they make sense in the moment. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I didn't really think this one through. But today's matchup is Burger Invasion versus Aladdin, a Musical Spectacular. I almost just skipped this round because what's the point? But somebody voted for Burger Invasion.
Yeah, I mean, 10%. So one person really liked Burger Invasion.
And it's also very appropriate that's slated on the first because it is just kind of a hilarious concept. I wanted to have a dining category, but in reality, like the dining category was never going to make it to the finals. So it looks like California, my money is currently on that we will have California Screamin' versus Aladdin, a Musical Spectacular in our grand finale, which will kick off tomorrow.
And that one's a little less unpredictable. Like I don't, or a little less predictable rather. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Which one would
I've been confused before. I think I have my pulse on the community, and then they go and select California Screamin' over Heimlich's Choo Choo Train, and everything I know is a lie.
Sonia says that they got their chance to go see Hoppers, and it was awesome. And I'm very excited for The Mandalorian and Grogu, which, yes, looks pretty cool. That's coming out on May 22nd. Fred Ramirez is sharing his loser for the week, just in case we don't end up having a show on Friday. And his loser is Cartoon Network. Since 2022, they've been doing a Looney Tunes marathon on April Fool's Day, but they only aired the classic cartoons for 2 hours and 15 minutes instead of 8 hours. And I would say you could just watch them on streaming, but you can't do that either because
Tubi. I think they just signed a deal with Tubi.
Tubi, and I guess maybe Boomerang.
No, wait, that was Sesame Street. I'm confusing Sesame Street and Looney Tunes, but I think they're somewhere.
maybe Boomerang, if you still have access to that via cable.
Well, let me go through and just tell you about some of the other things you can check out on LP later today. We have a roundup of Barely Necessities. We did the show yesterday. I was a special guest host with Becca, and she has a roundup of all the products that we talked about that you can check out on the site. Eric wrote a piece about how Disney legend-elect, he wrote about Disney legend-elect, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson's Disney history, so you can go and freshen up on everything The Rock has done with the company so far. We have an event recap. Jeremiah went to the D23 Spotlight Series, Walt Disney's Enchanted Adventureland, so you can read all about his experience there and what they shared. And then Tony did a fun article we were kind of talking about a little bit yesterday, where he made a tier list of the different Disney words. I'm going to read his headline to give you an idea of what some of those words might be. The magic and wonder of an S tier list will give you dream and believe, will let you dream and believe that Disney uses certain words forever. So you can go ahead and check that out. And then there's the latest episode of Who's the Boss. Mike talked about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle with Alex Arnold, not to be confused with Alex Honnold, as I thought when I first saw it for a second. So you can find that wherever you get your podcasts. But that's going to do it for us. But if you are a member, we're doing a members only stream at 1:30 Pacific today. I'm going to call it an LP AMA, but Benji, I'm going to pry about his whirlwind trip to Paris and maybe some other things that he's been up to lately. But you can ask us any of the questions that you have. So that'll take place at 1:30 Pacific if you are a member. And if you're not a member, go ahead and become a member. And then you can watch the stream, plus the whole backlog of member streams that we've done before. As far as tomorrow and Friday, I am going to be gone, so we will likely not have a show unless Benji and Luke and Tony want to figure out a way to make that happen. But I would not hold your breath on that. But I should be back on Monday with somebody to talk about the latest Disney news. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you members at 1:30. Anything to say before we go, Luke? I don't want to cut you off.
Well, no, I just Fred Ramirez says, have a nice Easter. And Kyle Oldham says, thanks for the best updates ever.
Wow, that's high praise. Ever. Yeah, have a great Good Friday and a great Easter, and I'll see you back here on Monday if you're not a member, and 1:30 if you are a member. Bye.